Hello, Pisces. My name is Dawn Priolette, and this is your monthly love tarot reading. Last month I did love tarot and tapping readings, and because it kind of took too long for this month, I'm going to just do your love tarot reading, and I'll have tapping for you in a separate video so that this will not go on forever. So let's get started. I've noticed that there is a common theme because I just did the Aquarius reading, and there's some common themes that are coming up. So anyhow, your first card, this is the strength of your relationship. So if you're currently in a relationship, this card is showing somebody who obviously has been through some battles. And so what this card is telling me is that, you have already gone through some battles. You've gone through some heartache. And so the reason this is in the strength position in the reading is it speaks to the fact that you have courage, you have persistence. And it's also saying, because it's 9, 9 is very, very close to completion. 10 would be the completion number, but 9 is real close. So this is also kind of saying that in terms of your relationships, you are almost at a place where you can feel complete. But you may be right now like coming up against another kind of setback. So, this card is encouraging you to be resilient. And it's saying you're so close to having what you want. So don't give up now. It's like kind of like the darkness before the dawn kind of card, or your last test before success. So that's kind of where you're at right now, and that's your strength. The next card up this is in the position of your weakness, and it is the 5 of Staves, except that it came up in the reverse position. Now, so this card as your weakness, this is saying that you are the kind of person that avoids conflict at any cost. You can't stand to be in any kind of situation where there is tension or a conflict. You will avoid it like the plague. Now, the reason why this is your weakness and the weakness within your relationship is because, this could mean that you're actually being kind of a people pleaser. And, while it's good to really focus on the things that you appreciate in your partner, that's really a good thing. There may also be some times when you may need to tell your partner, that something he did or something he said, bothered you, and you would do that by simply saying, I really feel whatever, but the thing is that because you see it as a conflict, and this comes from your early childhood training as far as communication is concerned. Maybe your mother was the kind of person who avoided conflict, or your mother or your father, or both of them. And you learned this pattern from watching how they dealt with each other. And, but what could happen though, is when you do anything you can to try to avoid conflict, is that you end up swallowing. And this is the thing that came up for Aquarius as well, is this feeling of like you'll do anything to avoid conflict, But what it ends up doing to you is so harmful. And of course, anything that harms you, eventually it's going to harm the person who is the closest to you, being your partner in life, whether it's your husband, or if you're a guy, your wife, um, your significant other. It's going to hurt that person too, because eventually, when you've swallowed enough, you'll either one day you'll wake up and say, you know what, I just don't love you anymore, because you've swallowed so much anger and resentment. And, months later or years later, you just feel like the love is gone. And really, what's happening is that all of this could be prevented if you could just learn to embrace your divine feminine, come back into your divine feminine if you're a woman, and just connect with your heart and speak from your heart. When he's doing something or saying something that's bothering you, just to be able to say, it really feels bad when you do that. And don't make him wrong, by the way. You can say to him, you have every right to look at that beautiful woman over there. However, it really makes me feel uncomfortable. And, if you continue to do that, I will need to get up and leave. It's perfectly okay to say something like that. But here's the thing, never make him wrong, because a man isn't wrong for looking at a beautiful woman. However, you need to communicate that, you're doing it too much. Okay. There's nothing wrong with a glance here or there, but when he's ogling somebody, you need to let him know that. But what this card is saying is that you're not doing that. You're just doing anything you can to avoid conflicts. And that is the pattern, because they're showing me that this is a pattern. Sorry, I just dropped my notes. This is a pattern for you, Pisces. And by the way, you're a Pisces, you're a water sign. You're very emotional, you're very sensitive. And so what can happen is, when you get used to swallowing too many of your emotions, after a while you disconnect from your heart. And that means you also disconnect from your intuition, and you don't ever want to do that. That's like disconnecting from your source. So the next card that was up in the position of the reality of the relationship, it was the Knight of Pentacles, except it came up in reverse. So normally in the upright position, this is a very slow moving kind of patient, this card, it's a slow moving kind of energy. But okay, so in the reverse and in the reality of your relationship, well, I'm going to bring all of this together and tell you what these cards mean together. What's the whole story here? So in regards to the card before it, which is your weakness, this tendency to not speak your truth and, to avoid conflict, is that you're feeling stuck in a repetitive pattern with this. This is a feeling of being stuck. And then you keep doing it over and over again. And then what ends up happening is, because you're not able to set boundaries, you're not able to speak from your heart about, how you really feel about what's going on, is you end up feeling like a victim, and you're probably blaming the other person, because, women do this a lot. We do this with men. We expect them to be able, well, he should know that bothers me, because I told him that one time, 5 years ago, that I don't like that, or whatever it is. We almost get to a point where we expect a man to be a mind reader. And that is definitely going to make for a big time problem in a relationship. You always have to communicate with each other. And so rather than blaming it on him, and this is what I tell everybody, as a relationship coach, is that, first and foremost, anything that's going on in your life, including in probably the most important relationship that you have, in your life, it's kind of the center of your life usually. Everything is your creation. You are the one who is responsible for it. You need to take responsibility for, how am I not communicating to this man? How can I communicate to him better? Instead of, trying to ignore your feelings and then one day just blowing up, either just blowing up at him, and he's going to be like, what the hell just happened? I have no idea why she just blew up. I just, because something will just set you off one day because you have been pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down. And then one day he'll just look at you a funny way or something and you'll just explode all over the place. And he'll be like, what the hell just happened? WTF, he'll have no idea what's been going on because you're not communicating. Now moving on to the happiness of the relationship. Okay. Oh, and I wanted to mention another possible meaning for this card for some of you, obviously not for all of you, because this is a general reading. Sometimes this card comes up when there's also some boredom going on in the relationship, stagnation, a need to be more spontaneous. So that could be, a factor for some of you. And so the happiness in the relationship, the Page of Pentacles, a Page of Pentacles, this guy is possibly a new manifestation, a new hobby, maybe even a new job opportunity, going back to school. And this is usually the initiation phase of something. And it's, so it is important to put into place, if you're planning to, if you want to get a new job or go back to school or something like that, to put into place concrete plans and actions of how you're going to reach that goal, because this card is only the initiation of that goal. But what they're saying is that if this card has to do with some stagnation in the relationship, then this could bring you some new happiness within your relationship. Going after a new job, setting some career goals for yourself could help to bring you out of some of that stagnation in your relationship and bring new life into your relationship. Okay. And now we have the last card. This is the key to the future. And so, all of these cards, these energies are really valid for the month from July 12th, basically till August 12th of 2016. So these are the current energies, and this is the key to the future of this relationship. It's saying that you need to take a break. You need to recuperate from some of the wounds the battle scars that you're carrying right now, and whatever challenges that you've been going through. You need to take a rest, time to recuperate, time to reevaluate your life. Maybe a good time to go on a retreat, so that you can work on this issue of avoiding conflict and not knowing how to communicate. And maybe the two of you could go together. That's a possibility. Or, depending on the situation. Or if you're single right now, you could just go by yourself. But even if you're in a partnership right now, if he doesn't want to go yourself. Because remember, when you work on yourself and you become a happier, more well-adjusted, more balanced person, everyone around you is going to benefit from that. They're going to feel that energy. So this is really the key to the long term of you. If you're single right now, you need to break this pattern, because this communication pattern or non-communication pattern, this total avoidance of all tension and all supposed conflict, is really, it keeps putting you into the same rut. Like you keep having the same problems in every single relationship because of this one tendency. And so the key to you having a successful relationship, to you actually going from the number 9 of almost being in that perfect ideal relationship with that perfect partner, you're almost there, but you still have this communication key that is missing. That's what you need to work on. So, Pisces, I hope that this reading has been very helpful to you. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get this reading every month. And also, if you need a more detailed reading from me, a more personalized reading from me, you can find out more about how to do that by following the links below this video. So until next month, Pisces, I'll see you then.